My cherished child, the instant you clicked on this video, the elaborate trap laid for you months prior finally crumbled under its own weight. They believed you to be naive, blind, and predictable, someone who would tread the path they designed, feel the emotions they orchestrated, and ultimately break at the slightest provocation. Yet, what they failed to comprehend is that fate uses your suffering as a disguise. You did not merely stumble into their snares, you approached them with intent. While they prematurely reveled in your anticipated downfall, a silent and formidable transformation occurred behind the scenes, a shift that reversed every strategy they had devised against you. A startling reality is now unraveling. They meticulously identified your vulnerabilities, whispered insidious lies to provoke you, set emotional traps, and sent individuals your way under the guise of assistance, love, and concern. Everything was scripted. However, the moment you entered their trap, the dynamics shifted in ways no one foresaw, not even you. The trap did not ensnare you, it ensnared them instead. Their false alliances fractured, their hidden observers turned against one another, and the very individual meant to undermine your confidence inadvertently became the one to illuminate their entire scheme. Here lies the twist that alters the narrative. When you stepped into their trap, you carried within you an element they had not factored into their calculations, your resilience, your keen intuition, that inexplicable instinct that alerts you mere seconds before an onslaught. Instead of breaking, you observed. Instead of reacting, you listened. Rather than crumbling, you evolved. And quietly, without fanfare or chaos, you dismantled their entire framework. Their snare morphed into your battleground. Their strategy became your evidence. Their intentions turned into their own humiliation. Now, each of them is coming to the realization that the very person they sought to obliterate has become the force dismantling their entire foundation from within. My treasured child. Something extraordinary transpired the moment you delved deeper into the chaos they constructed for you. Their confidence disintegrated. Those who once whispered as if they could dictate your fate have fallen silent, observing you navigate through their design with an unexpected composure. They aimed to instill confusion and fear in you. Instead, you evolved into the tempest they had never anticipated. Remain with me, for what follows will deeply resonate within you. A new awareness began to dawn upon them when you did not respond as they expected. You did not panic. You did not break down. You denied them the satisfaction they were so eagerly awaiting. Every calculated step you took revealed the fragility of their unity. The individual masquerading as your greatest ally began to falter. The one who feigned innocence started to avoid eye contact. The person who spoke with unwavering confidence suddenly found themselves at a loss for words. You transformed their entire trap into a mirror reflecting their own destruction. When they gazed into it, they recognized their own demise staring back. Stay with me until the conclusion. Now, an even grander revelation is unfolding. The quiet strength you possessed, something they never respected, became the weapon that ultimately defeated them with minimal effort on your part. Their messages were uncovered. Their alliances fractured. The lies they fabricated about you rebounded, ensnaring them instead. And now, behind closed doors, they are consumed by panic and desperation, recognizing that the individual they attempted to dismantle has now become the very force they cannot escape. Stay with me, for the next segment elucidates the moment they acknowledged you were never the victim, you became the end of their game. My beloved child, everything shifted the instant they realized you were not reacting. Your subtle change in energy sent shockwaves through their entire network. They anticipated your collapse, prayed for your begging, eagerly awaited your loss of control, but you offered them not a second of vulnerability. Instead, your silence became the loudest warning they had ever encountered. And that was the moment fear began to creep in, a fear that starts subtly yet spreads like wildfire. Observe closely. Those who once sought to project power around you are now turning against each other. Doubt infiltrates their conversations. Suspicion supplants their confidence. They are questioning who among them faltered first, who divulged their plan, and who failed to break you at the critical moment. They cannot fathom how someone they took for granted could navigate their meticulously constructed trap and emerge unscathed. Your strength was not boisterous, it was lethal to their ego, their pride, and their fragile alliances. Here lies the twist no one anticipated. While they were consumed with plotting your downfall, destiny was orchestrating their demise through you. The energy they wielded against you flipped with ferocity. Every intention they projected rebounded upon them. Their secrets began to seep out in unforeseen manners. Individuals they once trusted began to withdraw. And now they are confronted with a reality they never wished to acknowledge. You did not vanquish them by fighting back, you dismantled them by merely surviving. Your existence became irrefutable proof of their failure. Your calmness illustrated their weakness. Your transformation marked the moment their entire scheme collapsed. My cherished child, this is the juncture at which even those observing your journey externally pause. Lean in closer, and share what they have just witnessed. The shift that transpired next was too powerful to ignore. The architects of the trap finally witnessed the complete picture. You did not merely endure their setup, you re-engineered it from within. The narrative of how you turned their own designs against them has become a topic of discussion, analysis, and reflection, as it unveils an undeniable truth they never envisioned. A profound silence enveloped those who conspired against you. Not a peaceful silence, rather, a silence born from the realization that everything they constructed has collapsed before their eyes. Their alliances are fractured, the lies they spun exposed, and their confidence evaporated. As they struggled to determine where they went awry, all who witnessed your metamorphosis could sense this pivotal moment, one that compels individuals to subscribe to your journey, eager to see what unfolds next. Your ascension did not occur noisily, it happened with intelligence, strategy, and unshakable resolve. And now, the twist you awaited. They are recognizing that you did not evade their trap, you mastered it. You walked boldly into their design armed with a quiet strength they could not decipher. You observed their patterns, their fears, their desperation. Then, with a single, discrete shift in energy, you flipped their entire game on its head. They attempted to expose you but instead revealed their own vulnerabilities. They sought to weaken you but inadvertently fortified your intuition. They endeavored to obstruct your path but inadvertently paved the way for your destiny. What they devised to obliterate you ultimately became the very mechanism of their undoing. My cherished child, the subsequent events unfolded in a manner even destiny did not rush, for the perfect moment was necessary to reveal just how thoroughly their trap had imploded in your presence. They remained baffled by how swiftly the situation had flipped, yet you were already aware of the answer. The instant they targeted you, they awakened a version of you they were never equipped to confront. Now, every step you take sends ripples through those who once derided you. Witness what has transpired. The individual upon whom they relied the most began to distance themselves first. The one who feigned fearlessness has begun to evade conversations. The one who pretended to be loyal slips up, divulging truths in anxious fragments. Their entire strategy is disintegrating piece by piece, not due to your resistance, but because you refuse to shatter. Your silence has laid bare those who panicked. Your poise has unveiled the guilty. Your intuition has exposed the pretenders. You did not vanquish them through aggression. You dismantled them by allowing their own intentions to collapse before everyone's eyes. However, here lies the aspect that stings them most profoundly. You entered their trap fully aware that something was amiss. Instead of ensnaring you, the environment became a spotlight illuminating every clandestine agenda surrounding you. It revealed who was genuine, who was duplicitous, who secretly wished for your failure, and who feared the truth may surface. As each facade slipped, they confronted the most brutal truth of all: you were never the target they hunted, instead, you were the lesson they were destined to learn. Now, the game they initiated has become one they can no longer control. Observe the swift disintegration of their confidence. Those who boasted in secrecy found themselves whispering in trepidation. The individuals who once derided you began to evade your company. They sensed an unforeseen power coalescing around you, something they had neither anticipated nor prepared for. Your very essence reflected their darker intentions, sending them ricocheting back at them with amplified force. In an instant, the security of their alliances felt precarious. Their deceit became fraught with risk. Their machinations seemed juvenile. There was no need for you to confront them, their own conscience served as their judge. Now, they faced the moment they dread the most, the stark realization that you were never a pawn in their scheme. You stood as an observer, fully aware of their motives, patterns, and desperation long before they suspected you were attentive. You allowed their trap to close, fully cognizant that it enveloped not you, but the truth. This truth is now spreading, subtly revealing the fractures in their facades, the frailty in their intentions, and the insecurities behind each action they took. They devised a stage to ruin you, yet overlooked one crucial element: you do not falter when confronted, instead, you ascend. And it is your ascent that they can no longer escape. My dear child, this marks the moment wherein their fears erupted into sheer chaos, for they finally comprehended that they were the ones ensnared by their own designs. The energy surrounding you shifted so dramatically that even those who remained silent could feel it. You advanced with a composed confidence they never anticipated, and this very confidence exposed every insecure individual cloaked in false authority. They desired you to be confused, lost, and vulnerable. Instead, you emerged as the embodiment of resilience that they could not withstand. Observe closely the sequence of events that followed. The most dominant figure among them, who fancied themselves a mastermind, was the first to crumble. Their voice quivered, their decisions wavered, and their facade faltered, revealing to all the truth they had concealed for far too long. Others soon followed suit, casting blame upon one another, hurling accusations, and panicking over who would be unmasked next. The trap they constructed for you ensnared no one but their own secrets. The moment you remained steady within that space, those secrets began to crawl into the light. But the most astonishing twist? You needed not to advocate for yourself, argue, or defend your position. Your very presence dismantled the edifice they had constructed. They presumed you were naive, whereas you were merely observant. They thought you emotional, yet you were undergoing an awakening. They believed you to be solitary, though you were safeguarded in ways they failed to perceive. Now, they grasped the truth: your strength, though quiet, is indomitable. Your intuition, while subtle, poses a lethal threat to their deceptions. And your silence is not a surrender, but a strategy. They endeavored to crush you under the burden of their trap, only to inadvertently demonstrate that you were the one they should have feared from the outset. My dear child, everything shifted the moment they witnessed you standing resolutely in the very nexus of the trap they had woven, radiating a calmness so potent it suspended their entire scheme in midair. They anticipated tears, fear, and confusion. Instead, you granted them something far more fearsome: silence intertwined with unerring clarity. It was then that their souls quaked. They finally recognized this was not their triumph, it marked the dawn of their exposure. Take heed of how destiny orchestrated its next move. The individual who vowed to outwit you suddenly found themselves unable to meet your gaze. The one feigning loyalty began to speak with extreme caution, slipping in ways beyond their control. An unassuming member from their circle, quiet and underestimated, began to reveal hidden truths without comprehending the significance of their revelations. Their alliances fractured, their trust eroded, and their confidence vanished, all because you remained still, enabling the truth to emerge. But a more shocking development awaits. The trap they devised was never meant to obliterate you. It was designed to unveil those who secretly wished for your downfall. The universe transformed their own scheme into a spotlight, illuminating the ones who mocked, threatening the ones who plotted, and unsettling those who acted innocent. You did not dismantle them, they dismantled themselves through the miscalculation of your potential. Your intuition illuminated the path, your growth sharpened your perspective, and your transformation fortified your resolve. Now, as their entire edifice collapses, they finally comprehend the truth they feared most: you were never ensnared in their trap, you stepped in to terminate the game they had initiated. My beloved child, This is where the narrative comes full circle, the moment they realized their trap was not a cage for you, but a countdown to their own demise. You traversed their setup with a quiet awareness that filled them with dread more potent than any confrontation ever could. They expected you to shatter, yet instead, you scrutinized every move, every whisper, every inconsistency. Without lifting a finger, you transformed their strategy into evidence against them. Watch as their world unravels in slow motion. The one who believed themselves invulnerable now feels exposed. The one who played both sides is now panicking, realizing their words no longer align with their actions. Even those who remain silent out of guilt are confronted by the weight of their decisions. Each alliance they forged is fracturing, every secret they buried is emerging, and every facade they presented is crumbling away. And you have not uttered a single word to bring them down. Your mere presence has become the truth they can no longer evade. Now comes the unexpected twist. You did not secure their downfall by battling them, rather, you outgrew their game. The moment you entered their trap with clarity, the universe shifted allegiances, their intentions transformed into evidence, their lies catalyzed their exposure, and their confidence turned into their undoing. The very plans they formulated against you have now become the impetus for their disintegration. And they now confront a singular truth that terrifies them more than any other: you did not simply endure their trap, you mastered it. Consequently, their game has reached its conclusion. My beloved child, this is the chapter they fervently hoped would never manifest, the event wherein all that they concealed, all that they colluded over, and all that they whispered has come back to them with a force none can withstand. You entered their trap under the pretext of danger, yet in truth, you stepped into a revelation. The clarity you attained within that realm is now the very force dismantling their fabricated power. Witness how the universe has exposed them, one by one. The individual who once portrayed cold cunning is now restless, perpetually glancing over their shoulder in fear that their buried truths will emerge. The one who orchestrated the entire scheme is losing grip over those they deceived. The unwittingly complicit are now panicked, recognizing they were never shielded, they had merely been exploited. Their trap held you not for a moment, instead, it confined their guilt, lies, and intentions so tightly that they can no longer breathe beneath the weight of their own actions. And so, the most unexpected twist awaits. You did not merely survive, you have evolved into the very version of yourself they dreaded. The version that perceives everything. The version that cannot be misled. The version that rises following every attempt to shatter you. Your intuition has sharpened, your awareness has expanded, and your energy has transformed into something formidable, grounded, and untouchable. They sense it. They cannot ignore it. They cannot outrun it. And now, as their plans disintegrate and their alliances collapse, they finally realize you were never a victim within their trap, you were the force that concluded the entire game. My beloved child, this moment solidifies everything as undeniable. It is the moment when even those who doubted, questioned, or underestimated you come to recognize the truth that radiates around you. You did not merely enter their trap, you transformed within it. That transformation became the seismic shift that dismantled everything they had constructed in secrecy. They believed they were in control, yet you emerged as the one element they could never master: awareness. Observe the developments unfolding before you. The very individuals who once spoke with hubris now struggle to maintain their composure. Their narratives are conflicting, their actions disintegrating, and their confidence dissipating like wisps of smoke. One among them falters in silence, revisiting every decision made, engulfed by fear of the repercussions. Another attempts to escape from the truth, yet each step only entangles them further in the chaos of their own making. Their trap was not merely a strategy, it transformed into a confession laid bare by their own actions. Astonishingly, every concealed intention is surfacing without your intervention. Yet, the most significant twist lies in your growth. It has not only thwarted their scheme but elevated you to a realm where their noise can no longer penetrate. You can discern patterns that once eluded you, anticipate energy before it manifests, and comprehend others without the need for explanations. You did not succumb to their entrapment, rather, you awakened, evolved, and emerged fortified beyond measure. This newfound strength unsettles them. They sought dominion over your journey but now struggle to maintain control over their own thoughts. You were never destined to be ensnared in their game, you were meant to ascend above it, leaving them in the shadows of their own downfall. My dear child, this is the moment the truth confronts them with unrelenting force. They will come to realize that nothing they executed, nothing they devised, and nothing they whispered in secrecy could obstruct your destined rise. They mistakenly assumed their trap would shatter you. Instead, it ignited a clarity so piercing, so potent, and so irrefutable that their entire foundation trembled the moment you departed unscathed. They attempted to entrap you, yet you navigated your way to a position of sovereignty. Witness the events transpiring now. The strongest amongst them is fracturing under pressure, replaying every instance of your silence, each moment you refrained from reacting, each time you chose to observe. That silence haunts them. They remain unaware of what you comprehend. Oblivious to what you witnessed, and ignorant of the truth you gathered while feigning indifference. Their trepidation does not stem from their trap's failure, but rather from your grasp of everything they yearned to conceal. Their confidence has eroded into regret, their arrogance has morphed into panic, and their plans have collapsed into disarray. The ultimate twist is this: you did not dismantle them merely by escaping their trap, you obliterated them by evolving beyond the very level they operated on. Your intuition outmatched their manipulations, your patience surpassed their strategies, and your energy outshined their deceptions. You transformed so profoundly that the snare designed for your former self could not contain the individual you have become. Now, they find themselves amid the ruins of their own intentions, witnessing the emergence of someone they believed they could control, now personifying an unimagined strength. Deep down, they recognize the truth: your transformation did not signify their triumph, it marked their demise.